Hey guys, how's it going? I wanted to do a little bit of an SEO updates video here. I'm going to be giving you some information about the May core update and another few little updates here and there that Google has given us in the last few weeks. And I'm excited to just dive in. Release their May 2026 core update. So historically, there have been core updates in May. So they're kind of right on schedule. And here in Google's LinkedIn profile, they put this is a regular update designed for to better surface relevant, satisfying content for searchers from all types of sites. The rollout may take up to 2 weeks to complete. And we'll update ranking release history here on this page. Again, to me, this is just a pretty standard May, update in terms of the core update. And Google is getting better at understanding quality content and who is actually capable of speaking about certain topics. Now, with a lot of people, myself including, using AI to generate content, we need to be careful about how we share our authority, even if we're able to generate content with AI. So, like I've said before, I don't recommend just copying, pasting content from any sort of AI tool. That's not going to get you far. Google and, they aren't against AI content, but they do want unique content that's going to actually make a difference and, give some unique information. So here's an example. I'm doing a podcast episode. I'm not just talking about a SEO update. I'm giving my unique opinion on it that, maybe other SEO experts would have similar opinions, but this is unique. So this is a way to use AI, because I am using AI and we're using AI with our clients, but it's a way to use it smartly. And this is something I'm going to be talking more about in my Found in AI course, which I have a new round coming up. So make sure to stay tuned for that if you want to learn more about how to use AI to show up in AI and also to show up in the traditional SEO results. So, if you are coming off of this May update and you're curious if you've been impacted in any way, I wanted to show you a really quick way to analyze your own SEO and AI data by using the Search Console. So, this is a free tool, and basically you can sign up for it. Just search Google Search Console. And once you're signed up and you have some data to work with, you can use this compare feature and you can set custom dates or just the last 28 days with the previous 28 days, and you can compare. And so this lets you see right in the last 28 days versus 28 days if you've seen any changes. This is one way we can look at specifically around a core update, what's happening. And the best part, or I think the most interesting way to analyze, is to actually filter it by page. And you'll see here that because I have clicks and impressions selected, I can actually compare and see the difference. So one way you can actually filter this is by using this upside down pyramid and position difference. So if I want to see how many keywords went from page 2 to page 1 of Google, I could here set the position difference. It would be -1, for example. And so that's one way to then just filter those keywords, or those pages, I should say. I can see here minus is smaller than 1. And so there it will only show me these that kind of went up, basically. And so that is one way to actually analyze what pages are going up in the search results. And then you can actually filter by the page. So I just clicked on my guide for therapists, and then I can see the specific queries, right? So if you're trying to figure out how to take action off something like a core update, I highly recommend using this type of report, because then you can decide, okay, these are the pages that are actually getting traction. And then you can brainstorm either how to improve something that's doing well, or, maybe set a priority of okay, these are the pages that I want to pay attention to. And another kind of cool way you can filter is actually seeing new keywords that you're ranking in. You can actually select your position from the previous 28 days, and you can set that to 0, because then that means it wasn't existing. And then you there I have to take off this filter. And so these are the keywords that now I am ranking in. And so again, I recommend customizing this as much as possible so that you can decide what keywords and what pages you want to focus on. Google also added this AI configuration. I haven't used it yet. I think it could be interesting, but you need to know what to ask it and you can see its experiments. So let's just try one of these example prompts and see what happens. Okay, interesting. So it's lazy, which is very common in AI. It will take the shortcut route. But I think this is great. I mean, slowly we are moving to a space where we're, talking to our tools more and more and these conversations, but these are very much new tools. When you're doing more advanced analysis, I don't think they quite hit the needle of like what we're trying to accomplish. So that's anyway, I wanted to share a little Search Console tip if you want to take action on the May core update. Also, very close to the May update, that's called a new resource for optimizing for generative AI in Google search. I love this initial part where, we ask here, is SEO still relevant for generative AI search? And in short, yes, which is something I've been talking a lot about. And a lot of people are asking me, should I still do SEO? Yes, because I believe it's like the foundational bedrock of getting found in AI. And Google is saying here, best practices for SEO continue to be relevant because our generative AI features on Google search are rooted in our core search ranking and quality system. So it's kind of like, the AI component is sitting on top of a lot of the traditional, again, SEO elements. This is what I was just talking about previously, right? So showing up in AI is very much about this providing a unique point of view, creating non-commodity content that's helpful, reliable, and people first, organizing content in a way that helps your readers, adding high quality images and video, focusing on what users want and avoid overdoing it. So all of these are, very much in line with what I've been talking about. And I think a lot of people like sometimes overthink the SEO thing. And it is just about looking at what the user is asking for. What are your clients asking for? And how are you providing that information, right? Now, we also have the new layer of how to make content helpful for AI agents and AI assistants to find, which again is something that I talk about in my Found in AI course. But we want to, I think the biggest thing is we want to look at how we're structuring content, right? And sometimes, for example, one tip is if you're answering a very specific question in your content, try to answer it at the top because that's an easy place for both the humans and an AI assistant to grab fairly quickly. The last update here I wanted to give is through the Google Search Central YouTube channel, and they published a video also in April with some April updates. So it's been a month or so, but I wanted to share these specific updates with the Search Console. So the Search Console got a few little UX and UI updates. So one of them, for example, is you can now filter by branded queries and non-branded queries, which is pretty cool. And that can be a helpful way to kind of divide your SEO strategy, and just basically uh, be able to see how people are finding you through your brand name or just through informational or transactional keywords.
This
And you
makes their
can
life
now
a little.
see weekly updates. Before, this wasn't a possibility in the Search Console. So again, another way to look at your data. And if you're new here, the Search Console is a way for you to see how you're ranking today in Google. So I highly, highly recommend getting that set up. That's like one of the first steps that you want to be taking if you want to show up and understand your SEO and AIO results. So that's it, my friends. I am super curious to hear what you have going on in your SEO and your AIO marketing campaigns. If you want to share with me here in YouTube or in the podcast or on Instagram, wherever you're hanging out. And I will be running another round of the Found in AI course. So I'd love to see you there. If you have any questions, just let me know. We'll talk soon.